My name is Don McKay. Thank you for joining me. It's the Don McKay Show, of course, brought to you by RadioOnFire.com. Get breaking news, entertainment, original programs, progressive coverage by and for the people. Visit RadioOnFire.com. Of course, I am here delivering the biggest political news stories of the day, interviews, original reporting, all of that from across America, cutting through the foolishness and talking about what's really happening. It's real news every night here on the Don McKay Show. Of course, Facebook.com/Radio on Fire and Facebook.com/The Don McKay Show. Let's dive in. There's a lot to get into. So earlier this week, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, gave a traumatic account of the Capitol Insurrection. She took to her Instagram Live for a post that really outlined why we cannot just move on from that fatal day, why we have to hold the people accountable who partaked in these criminal actions, treasonous actions, criminal actions. So the representative, who is a Democrat from New York, discussed her experience during this Capitol Hill attack. It was one of the most harrowing accounts of this insurrection that has been made public up until this point. The testimony she gave just showed just how devastating this event was for the democracy of this country. So AOC remembers trying to decide what she was going to eat for lunch. All of a sudden, she started hearing a series of loud bangs on the doors leading to her office. You know, that is something that would definitely cause someone concern, especially someone in her position. So she heard these bangs. She ran to the door, ran over to the aide that she refers to as G. This is her legislative director. And he told her to run and hide. So she took shelter behind her bathroom door just before the pro-Trump attackers break into her office and made it clear that they were coming for her. AOC is someone who has been demonized by Republican conservative media and also other GOP members. And she remembers hearing them calling, "Where is she? Where is she?" She said that was the moment that she thought that everything was over. She said that she thought that she was going to die. When we are letting anarchists, insurrectionists, just trample on the government in this way, how can people go forward and respect the government when you have those that are allowed to do these actions, come in, break into the Capitol, commit these crimes, and then later on they let them leave? Mind you, they let them leave, and then later on consider whether they're going to arrest these people. I mean, continuing with AOC's story, she says that in those few seconds she contemplated death. I felt that this was the journey my life was taking, that if this was the journey my life was taking, I felt that things were going to be okay and that I had fulfilled my purpose, she said. And she was apologizing to viewers because she started to cry at this point. She's welling up just recalling this. And soon afterwards, her staff member told her to come out. A Capitol police officer was in the office to secure the location. But she said something about the officer seemed off. And he didn't have a partner. He did not identify himself, yelled at her, and then did not even give them a specific location to take shelter. She said that he was looking at her with tremendous amounts of anger and hostility. Could this have been one of the the officers, one of the Capitol officers that were showing the insurrectionists around, that were posing for pictures with them. There were officers like that. We clearly saw this. But she said that things were not adding up. She did not know whether he was there to help us or hurt us. That's what her staff member G said. So Ocasio-Cortez ended up sheltering in the office of Rep. Katie Porter of Democrat of California, another prominent progressive. So they were there for hours. Parts of her account have been corroborated by both her staff and other representatives, including Katie Porter. So, because I can hear the conservatives talking, oh my God, we don't know this is happening. AOC could just be saying these things. No, these things have been corroborated by numerous members. So she's still in fear of her life, and the sustained level of insecurity, all of this left Ocasio-Cortez traumatized. In her feed, she compares it to experiencing the fear of the sexual assault that happened in her life, something that she had not disclosed before, that she was a sexual assault survivor. And she said she had not told many people that in her life, but when we go through trauma compounds on each other. So this is just one case. There are other politicians that were threatened, and we've been hearing about Mayor Browser, who was threatened, and other members of this Washington elite that were threatened. It's entirely reasonable for Ocasio-Cortez to fear for her life. She talked about how the day was building, and how when she was out, even the day before, the tensions from the Trump supporters and the white supremacists and all of the other QAnon and all of the people that converged on the Capitol. So someone like her, public enemy number one, she was one of many. Mike Pence, he seemed like he was on their list, as well as the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. The crowd chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." If they were willing to threaten the Republican so directly, who knows what they would have done had they reached AOC. Her account shows why Congress cannot and absolutely should not just move on without handling this correctly. It's not just a matter of personal trauma for these political officials, although that is important, but it's a matter that the mob brought fear of a violent death to the forefront of American politics. Not the first time that things like this have happened, but this is the first time it's happened in such a public manner on a national stage. They were angry with the workings of this democracy based on lies and grievances stoked at the highest level of the Republican Party. They actually tried to overturn it. They wanted people like Ocasio-Cortez to fear for their lives, and that was the point. They were trying to do something treasonous. And in some cases, it worked. Mid-January, Representative Jason Crow, Democrat, Colorado, said that the threat of violent reprisal was the main reason more House Republicans were not voting to impeach Trump in the wake of the Capitol attack. They were scared as well. Crow said that the majority of them are paralyzed by fear. I had a lot of conversations with my Republican colleagues last night, and a couple of them broke down in tears, saying that they were afraid for their lives if they voted for impeachment. This is what Trump and Trump supporters wanted to happen. The Capitol insurrection struck at the heart of the democratic practice in America. The idea that politics should be determined by the will of the people. Their chosen representatives. These are all reflections of the will of the people. And when you take that away, then we have something completely different. So you consistently hear Republicans say, oh, 74 million people voted. Okay, that's fine. But even more voted for President Biden. Trump lost. Senator Josh Hawley, Senator Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump himself, they have all suffered few serious consequences thus far. Thus far. Accountability is not about revenge. It's not about getting back at the people. When someone commits a crime and you hold them accountable, it's not about revenge. It's about creating safety. And we are not safe with people who hold positions of power and are willing to endanger the lives of others if they think that this is just about scoring political points. It's much deeper than that. It's more serious than that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. And of course, the all-new Radio on Fire streaming network. You can see that radioonfire.com. A lot of announcements that we have coming up with regards to Radio on Fire and programs that we are launching. Radio on Fire is a listener-supported radio and podcast network streaming from our production facilities in Atlanta and Baltimore. We're able to broadcast programs like The Diamond K Show because of our listeners and some amazing partners. If you want to support programs easily, Cash App, $DJ Diamond K on radioonfire.com. You can get all of that. We'll do this, take a quick break, and come back with more of the show after this. Welcome back. Maryland records 2 more cases of the South African COVID-19 variant. Your man Diamond K in here, radioonfire.com is the Diamond K Show. Daily, 7 p.m., Radio on Fire, or anywhere you get your podcast. Also on Apple Podcasts, just search the Diamond K Show. So state health officials have confirmed that 2 more cases of this South African strain of COVID-19 are in Maryland. Governor Larry Hogan announced earlier this week. Both individuals that are residents of Montgomery County recently traveled abroad. I mean, I talk to people and they'll say, I'm going to go out of the country and I'm tired of staying. I mean, just now is not the time. But some people just can't seem to wait. Contact tracing is underway and close contacts are isolating. And this is what happens when people make moves like this. You don't only affect yourselves, but you affect those around you. This B.1.351 variant has not been shown to cause more severe illness, but it is believed to be more transmissible. It's easier to pass on to other people. This is something that we need to be concerned about. Evidence suggests that the vaccines now available are still likely to protect the South African variant and another that originated in the United Kingdom. Maryland recorded its first case of the South African variant late last week. And we have to be proactive with this. I feel like we're always reacting after the fact. We have to be at the forefront and ready for this stuff when it happens. Take a quick break with the show, and we'll be back with more of the program after this. anywhere you stream music, make sure you search Diamond K. Check out my catalog, Baltimore Club Music and Hip Hop Music. Like I said, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you get your music from, just search Diamond K and check it out. So this story coming out of South Florida, 2 agents, FBI agents killed, 3 wounded, and suspect dead in Florida. 2 FBI agents fatally shot earlier this week. And like I said, 3 wounded, trying to serve a search warrant, federal search warrant, in a child exploitation case. A suspect also died at some point during this standoff, in which he barricaded himself inside a home. 2 of the wounded agents were taken to hospitals to be treated and were in stable condition. So the names of the deceased agents have not been released thus far. Also, the suspect's name has not been released as of yet. The agents arrived to serve this search warrant in connection with a case, violent crimes against children. So something that we should take serious. Law enforcement were all around the neighborhood after the shooting and just taking over this Fort Lauderdale suburb of Sunrise. Shooting happened at 6 a.m. and it was a middle-class neighborhood, single-family homes, duplexes, and apartment buildings. Hours later, Sunrise police urged residents of Water Terrace to remain inside their homes while law enforcement blocked the entrances to their community. And we've just been seeing a rash of situations like this. In Baltimore, a Deputy U.S. marshal remains on life support after a shooting, and he's had shock trauma, being shot in West Baltimore today while serving an arrest warrant. Police say that the marshal was shot 6:15 a.m. in the 1400 block of North Mount Street. The suspect, 30-year-old Dante Green, was pronounced dead at the scene. We're just seeing a lot of violence. And I don't know whether it's the fact that a lot of people have just been cooped up in the house for most of the last year, not all of it, but most of the last year. Commander Don Snyder of the U.S. Marshal Service Capitol Area Regional Fugitive Task Force says that the deputy marshal is a member of Marshal's Special Operations Group and is a former Marine. He said that the U.S. Marshal Service policy prohibited him from identifying the marshal until all the investigations into this incident are done. Baltimore police are leading the investigation. Police and marshals announced themselves, according to them, prior to making entry into Green's home. Snyder said that the marshal was one of a number of officers who returned fire when Green shot at them from a closet in the home. So then they realized the deputy marshal had been shot. They evacuated him from the scene. He was quite sick when he got here. We got him rapidly evaluated and into the operating room, a doctor said, at shock trauma. So the marshal has an injury to a torso and remains on life support. Now, the suspect, Green, was wanted on 30 counts, including attempted murder stemming from a shooting Saturday at Compare Foods in East Baltimore. The police said that Green, a security guard, was upset about his paycheck. He fired at responding officers who returned fire. Green, however, managed to escape. So you had that situation. Police got the warrant for his arrest, called the marshals to back them up because of this high risk nature of this situation. So the shooting came a day after 2 FBI agents, as we talked about, were killed serving a search warrant in Florida. What is going on? It goes without saying that going after violent offenders is one of the most dangerous jobs in this country. So here at Radio on Fire, we're going to pray for everybody that was impacted, the community, the family. This is something that is traumatizing for everyone. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I am here daily, and we're giving you the real rundown on some of the top news stories of the day. And we're going to continue to do that. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this. RadioOnFire.com, The Diamond K Show. I am here daily. Radio on Fire is a listener-supported radio and podcast network streaming from our production facilities in Atlanta and Baltimore. We're able to broadcast programs like The Diamond K Show because of our listeners and some amazing partners. Partners like D Lifestyle Secrets. Are you a baby boomer? Were you born between 1946 and 1964? Well, more than 71 million Americans are baby boomers. And as they age and continue to get older, you want to experience as few aches and pains as possible while staying mobile. D Lifestyle Secrets helped you do just that by providing a blueprint to reduce and or eliminate joint pain by teaching members to communicate naturally with their bodies. DLifestyleSecrets.com gives baby boomers step-by-step videos, natural recipes, and most importantly, the motivation to re-energize themselves naturally. Visit DLifestyleSecrets.com to join this active community of baby boomers today. And I encourage you to shop with all the companies that support RadioOnFire.com. Have you ever had NutriBurst liquid vitamin? This stuff tastes great, and they say that it is great for you. NutriBurst liquid vitamin. So my girl Moochie told me about this, and me and Moochie go way back. So she says, Diamond K, you have got to try this. So I asked Moochie, what's so special about NutriBurst liquid vitamin? What makes it so good? So then she gave me the rundown. All right, 72 minerals, 10 vitamins, 22 phytonutrients, 19 amino acids, 13 whole vegetables, and 12 herbs. Wow. Get your NutriBurst liquid vitamin today at TotalLifeChanges.com/MyMoochie. That's TotalLifeChanges.com/MyMoochie. Tell them Radio on Fire sent you. It's been real. Thanks for joining me. Your man Diamond K, delivering the biggest political and news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across America, cutting through the foolishness and talking about what's really happening. Real news every night. Celebrating Black culture. It's RadioOnFire.com. See you guys tomorrow.